models that are being used by other countries to try and know what to do with the problem of coronavirus. Now I have some few models that I have imported or I have adopted from some of these countries that have been hit hard, such as Britain and US. And this is from a research that was done on 16th March 2020. Now the first graph there shows how the issue of social distancing can be able to solve the problem, to intervene when it comes to the problem of the spread of the coronavirus. And as you can see there, the red line there shows the capacity of the healthcare that is there. And the first graph there shows what is going to happen if there is no intervention that is going to be done. And one of the intervention that we are talking about here in this graph is the intervention of social distancing, making sure that we do not have crowds of people together. So if you look at that graph there, then if we do not have any social distancing or there's no intervention, what is going to happen is that we will have that epidemic going over our health capacity system and therefore overwhelming the capacity. Now, if there is that intervention of social distancing, you can see we have the flattening of the curve here, down here. And therefore, our healthcare system can be able to deal with the problems or the challenges that come in. So you can see also the line here of where the intervention is supposed to start here. This is after the days after the first cases are uh, are found, and you can see if the intervention is done here for the social distancing of making sure that we have no overcrowding of people so that we can be able to reduce the infection, then it means that we are going to be able to flatten the curve in such a way that it cannot overwhelm the health system of our country. Now, the second one here shows, let me hide the first one. The second one there shows what happens when different interventions are carried out, and you can see what they have done. They tried as much as possible to have as much time as possible for the epidemic if nothing is done or if there is a slow intervention. So the first thing that happens here, you can see is schools and universities closure. So the red line here shows the bed capacity of a country, the bed capacity of your country. And the most important thing is to make sure that to come up with intervention that are going to make sure that the epidemic does not go beyond the bed capacity. Because anytime if it overwhelms the bed capacity, then it means that it becomes a challenge to the healthcare system of a country. So if you look at what we have here, is that the first thing that we do for us to be able, the first intervention that that are supposed to come up with is making sure that schools and universities are closed. You isolate the cases that comes in, and also you articulate the issue of general social distancing. And you can see if that is done, then even if there will be an overwhelming, it will not be as much as you can see in the green graph there. Now, after you have done that, and I think that is where we are as a country, as Kenya. Remember, this is supposed to be done after the first cases are reported. So you close the schools, you isolate people that are tested and seen as if they have the coronavirus. And also you make sure that you articulate for general social distancing, make sure that there are no crowded people. Now, the next thing that you need to do is you do case isolations. You also do household quarantines, and also articulate again for general social distancing. And I think this is what they have done. They are talking about today, where they are saying that matatus should not carry as many people. People who can be able to work at home should work at home. If you do not do that, you can see what is going to happen here. If you do nothing, you can see the resurgence of the cases. They go beyond the bed capacity here, the red line that we have down there. And it becomes something that you cannot be able to deal with in a country. And at this level, at the peak here, then it becomes what we call a critical issue that a country cannot be able to deal with. So the best thing is to listen to what the government is telling us. First, close down the schools, make sure that schools are closed down, make sure that the isolated case, people who are isolated remain in isolation, do the general social distancing, make sure that you are not overcrowded or you are not in a place where there are crowds. Then make sure that you house quarantine yourself in case you have any disease, or you also make sure that you work at home if you can be able to work at home, and also make sure that you also continue washing your hands and also implement the social distancing case. So you can see the issues, the problems that are there, and how that pandemic can be a problem to us if we do not listen to what the government is saying. So thank you very much for listening. Please ask any questions that if you have, and take care of our health. Thank you. Now.